Hello YouTube, Jonathan800 here. So I'm gonna do another tutorial. This time it's updated to the latest DLC, which is Arms Against Tyranny. So if you're just starting out the game, many of you will probably play Germany, so this is why I'm starting with Germany. So when you first enter, yes, things are a bit off because as I changed templates, but what you want to do is deal with these notifications. So I already cheated in research, but here you would have your infantry tab. This improves your infantry. You'll progress down the tech tree, get better stuff. Support companies go into your templates to help them out. This is your armor. Without DLC, it'll be different. Medium tanks will be 1939 again. Artillery, these actually gives your infantry some teeth to actually fight. Here's your naval tree. Will look different if you have if you don't have the DLC man the guns. Don't think you'll have this tab either. Air, this will be different if you don't have by blood alone, but it's pretty similar actually. Engineering, this is your electronics and stuff. This does extra research. This gives you coordination and radar. And this is industry. This improves how you produce stuff. In an order of importance, I would say it's industry, air, artillery and tanks, then infantry. Navy if you're playing Navy. But air is pretty nice in this game. Anyone who says air sucks in this game clearly likes to have slogfest. So, if we get some research in, let's just say, because I have nothing to research, paratroopers, which allow you to paradrop, marines, which will help you with more naval landings or crossing a river. Just so I don't have the notification. What I'm doing is assigning an MIO. These will help improve this thing related to it. So, civilian factories, what are these? These are factories that build factories and help you trade for resources. Like you can... Yellow means you're trading access, by the way. If you have red, let's just put out a ton of artillery. If you have red, that means you need to trade. And in this case, it's 11. You usually don't want to overspend factories, so a small deficit is fine, but for this case, we would do that. And then you have everything. Actually, you could theoretically say that's a small enough deficit to keep on one, but yeah, that's what CIS are for. Build factories. These build factories, they trade. If you have the Arms Against Tyranny DLC, you will have access to the international market. That way you can buy stuff with the civilian factories. And if you sell things, you will get construction output. So you will get a little bonus to this bar here. Military factories, I showed you how to assign. You got your 3 categories. Infantry, artillery, armored vehicles, aircraft. So you can assign MIOs to these to give it some more stats. My MIOs currently don't have any funds, so they aren't as good as they could be. When it comes to producing, you need infantry equipment because your infantry, pretty much everything needs infantry equipment. Trucks are pretty useful. They also help with supply. Artillery, these actually give teeth to your divisions, as I said earlier. Anti-air is pretty important actually, because if the enemy has close air support, or often known as CAS, support anti-air actually negates a lot of the penalties from getting bombed by this, and can actually shoot down some of the planes. And anti-tank is there so the infantry can blow up a tank if the piercing is high enough. If it isn't high enough, there's some partial piercing that goes on, but it doesn't matter. You can usually pierce tank divisions with just anti-air in a single player. Here's armor. This is the medium tank that I designed. I think it's, well, reliability is low, but this is because this is actually the improved tank chassis, medium tank chassis. Is it? Let me see. Yeah, I did research the 1940 medium. So this is a tank I'd have at around 1940. Quite very unreliable, but reliability apparently means not much anymore. For the 1936 one, I'd probably you could use for a medium howitzer. Possibly same thing. Note that sloped armor is really expensive. You could always drop engine or armor. You're probably gonna get pierced anyways, but usually you want to have a high armor so you take half damage. So let's say we got all of our things assigned, just picking random things, don't I? Support equipment, by the way, gives you your support companies and such. Missing equipment production, let's say we got that. Now, national focus. This is your focus tree. Each country has a unique one unless you're El Generico. And this is your generic focus tree. So for Germany, your focus tree has, and for pretty much all focus trees, there's an industry path, air, army, political, and naval. You also have all history occasionally. Pretty much all of your countries have that if you have the DLCs. So, here's the thing with Germany. Treaty with the USSR, if you do not have the DLC, what is it called? No Step Back for tanks, this will give you a 2-year ahead of time bonus for medium tank. So you'll have medium tanks before anyone else does. So keep that in mind. So let's say we got our national focus at, let's say it's Rhineland. You have 10 days to do a focus, by the way, before you start losing stuff. Divisions, no divisions of basic training. So here's the division I like to use, 9-1. And the experienced people who are watching this are like, hey, this is not effective for combat with. And you're right, but this division is, I swear, is better than the more combat efficient 6-1. This has less defense. Note that all these stats are with the mobile warfare doctrine. I'll explain that later. So, this feels better to work with. And you can replace the last support company with like field hospitals, military police, or logistics. These all of these give stats, which does help. Like engineers boost entrenchment, which is extra defense basically. So let's say we're researching some 9-1s. I did shift click to add 5 lines at once. Unassigned divisions. How does this work? So what I'm doing is shift, left click, double click, and now I have all of my infantry divisions selected. I pressed S to split, and I have that. What's our remaining divisions? We can add the mountaineers to one of the armies. Double click to select all of the type. Keep your panzers with panzers. Do not mix them with infantry. You can mix them with what is it called? Motorized, if you want. And you have this cavalry division, which I am using for resistance. So when you invade a country, they don't like to be invaded, so you'll have resistance. This is the ultimate resistance garrison. You have military police and a bunch of horses. But the cheapest one you can get is create new. This is the cheapest resistance garrison because, let's say, oops. Now, you can get a lot of resistance. This provides 60 suppression compared to this 13.5, and it's pretty cheap overall. So we're technically only using 2.25 divisions guarding Poland. You can also change it. Local police forces, cheapest on manpower. Well, technically no garrison, but this will give you some factories and such. the more you go, the more people hate you, but the more factories you get, basically. And might as well show you the bare bones one. This one would, 1.5 now. This one would take 43 divisions, but note they are smaller. So, more unassigned divisions, we have that horse, we'll just put that there. Now, you can assign an army leader, have infantry generals with infantry generals. If I see Rommel commanding a, commanding a bunch of infantry with no tanks, I am going to be depressed. See, armor officer, armor officer, armor officer. These work with panzers and motorized. Let's have Rommel. Now, what I'm doing is left click, shift left click. This is your field marshal. More stats. Let's get Günther von Kluge. And then we'll see the same thing with mobile divisions. And what I actually like to do is, I know some things, is actually promote Guderian. And then you have your field marshal. Note they will have less stats for how long again? 100 days. Now, Navy. If you want quick naval supremacy and don't care if your ship gets exploded, this will get you naval supremacy. Because this has a lot of manpower required, which is somewhere. I don't see it, but there is. 5,200 manpower. Your naval supremacy is based on that. If you want max, strike force. These will only go 3 tiles before it turns red. Well, there's no range for it to turn red, but something like that. That's why you can station your fleet at Scapa Flow and have naval dominance everywhere. Now, how should I build a fleet? So these 4 are your capitals: carriers, battleships, battle cruisers, and heavy cruisers. These are your big boys. You want to have them have lots of heart attack. These are your screens: light cruisers and destroyers. For simplicity, this should be your light cruiser. A ton of medium light batteries. This way they can, because light attack attacks screens. So you're going to blow up all the enemy's screens. This means that they are now weak to torpedoes, which is basically these destroyers. More destroyers, more torpedoes. And then you have your carriers. You want your carriers to be escorted by at least one of the other capitals. And with screens, it's at minimum 3 screens per capital ship. And submarines, do not have them with your surface fleet. These are to, you want to put as many torpedoes as possible. So, do not have these with your surface ships. Keep them separated like they have here. Because they only really like to attack convoys. And they can't really do much in an actual naval battle between surface ships, besides give you a penalty for having an already big fleet. Also, if you really wanted to unite your whole navy into one thing, like let's say you're playing Italy, who has a bajillion individual navies, or big navies like the UK, USA, or Japan, hold shift, left click, right click, click here, and then you put them all under the same fleet. Then you can press G to unite. Doctrines. Germany, it really likes mobile warfare, so mobile warfare is best done right. Or there's a good argument for left-right. If you're doing tanks, it's right. If you're doing pretty much anything else, left. Debatably, one of the best doctrines is superior firepower. This gives you a lot of soft attack. This is usually done right or right left. No one Don't do dispersed support. It's really not all that good. Oh, they added a little bonus for defense with that. Nice. Grand Battle Plan, also debatably one of the better doctrines. Basically, all the doctrines are good. Mass Assault is left in the dust-ish. It's actually still okay. Don't do right. So, Grand Battle Plan, there's a good argument for left is good because you get a ton of planning bonus. Planning counters entrenchment and gives you more stats for the attack. But you have to build it up. This GBP, that's what it is, right? This will help your infantry. The land night attack bonus is really nice. Overall, pretty solid doctrine. Solid doctrine. Good when you're going for maneuver warfare. And then we have Mass Assault Doctrine. This is a jack of all trades sort of doctrine. If you go right, you're just throwing men at the enemy literally. This basically helps your tanks, helps your infantry, actually makes your infantry smaller. Now, this will make your division infantry worth 1.7 combat width. I'll explain combat width in a bit. Probably should have done that with templates. So, now you can cram more infantry into your divisions to give them more stats for less room required. So if you're ever doing Mass Assault, always do Mass Assault left. This is just China LARP. Oh, this actually helps with suppression now. So, combat width. So let's take a plains tile here. This has a combat width of 70 with, if you do a flank attack from here to here, then and here to here, it'll give you another 35. This is why you want your offensive divisions to be 35. This is why you want your offensive divisions to be 35 combat width. Because that means it will fit into this perfectly. There are some tiles that aren't 35, like this one. You can kind of get away with it though, because the penalty for exceeding combat width when it's small is not much. But this is why you can't do a giant block of infantry and artillery, is because it just won't fit into the battle if you have more than one. If you don't exceed combat width, you have full stats. That's why I still say the 9-1 is still pretty decent, because you don't fill combat width instantly. So it just works. And also the penalties you get from exceeding it as a 21 width isn't the worst. So this is your decisions tab. You'll find a lot of stuff here. Some countries really require you to look at it. Soviet Union, for example, all your purging happens here. Keep track of it, otherwise you're going to wonder where all of your military staff is instead of most of it. So, let's go back to doctrines. Naval doctrine, this is battleships are cool, submarines are cool, carriers are cool. If you don't have carriers, fleet and being is great. If you're carrier orientated, base strike is amazing. And trade interdiction is haha funny submarines, boom, all your convoys are dead. So I'm trying to think of anything else to talk about. Oh. So your intelligence agency, you will get stuff. So in this case, Dabbler. They'll have cryptology, which will be used to crack codes so you can get temporary bonuses, or just until they increase their encryption. What is it? Just more intel on the enemy, like what are they doing? What is their army made of? Air, navy, such stuff like that. Intelligence gives you more of those flat IC stuff. Defense will help you prevent that from happening. The operations tab will let you do more stuff. Same with operative training. Alright. So here's, if you have no step back, this is your officer tab. You can put Spirit of the Army. It varies on your ideology, and sometimes even country actually. But otherwise, you can put more stuff here. For democracies, you have relief of command that gives you extra army XP. Chief of Air Force, you have aircrew surveys, which makes your doctrines cheaper. Talking about doctrines, I forgot to talk about air doctrines. So, strategic destruction, this is strat bombers are cool. Battlefield support, CAS is cool. Operational integrity, this is arguably your best doctrine. Battlefield support is also fun for CAS stuff. Strategic destruction is best if you're doing strat bombers. But otherwise, you'll pretty much use operational integrity because your fighters will be better. Sure, your fighters will be better here, but apparently there's more stats here. Like the interception detection. But you can get that here somewhat, but just less of it. Note, strategic destruction will get the agility bonus before operational integrity, so just want to put that in mind. Your last doctrines, if you have Arms Against Tyranny, is your, Special Forces doctrines. You got Mountaineers, what they give you are Rangers. These are just better recon companies. Eventually, you'll get the haha funny extra boom that recon companies do as Rangers if you do this. So you'll never ever really do this holding the line thing. Marines, they give you Pioneers, which are better engineer companies. You'll probably go right initially because no one really fights in jungle. Guerrilla, and then you could choose left for Marine Commandos, which can attack, blow up stuff, then go back out. But they have to be entirely made of Marine Commandos. And then the right one is just overall just improving your Marines. Paratroopers. I made an entire tutorial dedicated to paratroopers, but all you really need to know is pick this one, because this will blow up enemy org. Org is this green bar, and that's how long they can fight. The orange bar is the strength of the division, so technically these divisions quite suck even if their org is mostly high, because they have no strength to them. If they did have strength, they would actually be pretty decent. So by eliminating the green bar, they don't want to fight anymore. You pretty much drop their morale. And then you can choose between left or right. It is your choice. Alright, before we head off, I might as well say a few things. So when you research something new, be sure to make it up to date. Like if it was just basic artillery, you would then click the new artillery, and then it will automatically replace. You got your convoys. These will help with supply and such. Pretty useful. You do not have to justify a war goal for everything. Your focus trees often will let you do that. That way you can get Austria and the Czechs for free in historical. And also you, as other countries, you can really get some war goals, and you can get some bonuses too. Actually, before I head out, I should probably show how war works. Also, so I'm on the 1939 start date, and so what I'm currently doing is setting up my Air Force. So planes will be at 100 each. And so your fighters will actually fight in the air. Your CAS will do the bombing. Try and figure out what Germany has in stock. A lot of bombers, actually. They actually did update this, surprisingly. So I won't be using paratroopers. If you want to see paratroopers, you actually can. Actually, no, because I will be showing front lines and such. So you can left click just the front to get map wide, or you can draw one with just holding right click. Personally, what I like to do is click the field marshal, left click, hold shift, left shift, and then you got entire field marshal one. But we do in fact need a garrison for this. Germany has some extremely crappy tank divisions. But I'm going to put the crappy ones here in East Prussia, and I'm going to go for an encirclement, hopefully. Now what you want to do is, this is the F4 supply map mode. You want these things called supply hubs. These will actually, oh, I didn't realize you can actually set supply hubs in the future, but you want to take these are where your supply is. Many issues you have when fighting is due to lack of supply. When you also want to fight, you also want to, oh, there's my paratrooper. I'll just put you here. Away you go. So, you actually can bypass Danziger War because for some reason they already start with a war goal on Poland. So, you want to set an offensive line. That way you can tell your, what is it? Hopefully you can get it done before 10 days. Tell your infantry when to attack by itself. I personally hate it because I swear, acts stupid when you do it. You can adjust it to aggressive or cautious. Balance actually kind of sucks. You either want to do cautious or aggressive. For the sake, let's just do Runstedt, even though he's not a great infantry guy. So everyone's set up. We will declare war. I don't have any troops on the border here, so I will quickly do that. That would have been quite embarrassing, but I have seen it happen before. So let's just let the troops organize a bit. So basically, Germany will do Danziger War before they get the war goal. Then around Maginot, this will bypass because they'll be at war with France, and they'll do Operation Westerübung or whatever it's pronounced, and go up north and attack Norway and Denmark. But I've seen them attack Sweden now, and I don't know why. Well, but either way, let's just declare the war. So you want to usually get attack and fight along the railway line, so theoretically you should be attacking here. But because this is the 1939 start date, you should be able to just battle plan. I have actually never seen this. They actually have the investment things for oh, there we go, that explains it. Can't believe I actually loved it. But basically, you should be able to just push. Microing is with right click. That is manually moving divisions. You can and should try to make an encirclement, just like how this is all encircled now. You really want to get Danzig and Gdynia very quickly so the allies can't reinforce. And now this entire section is ready to be destroyed. So you just do that. And you should be able to... No, I'm outrunning my supply lines. These are not connected yet because the railroads need to fix. Let's quickly try to get around Warsaw for more attack. Because the more you do attacking from multiple directions, that will increase combat width and I believe help increase damage. Let's actually quickly do that. I am ignoring all of these. It really does not matter right now, but in an actual game it would. So currently attacking that. If the enemy is attacking you, you can do a quick counterattack as to when their org is low. Notice how these strength bars are actually filled. You can go for quick encirclements. Hopefully because there's also a thing called pinning, which is what they're doing. So even if I win the battle, these troops can't move. Let's actually get to there, there, and let's just quickly finish this. You can hold shift, so you can right click around, but you can also shift right click so you can queue orders. So that is quite useful. So yeah, we shall go back to the main section now for the outro. So yeah, I believe that should be it for basics. Hopefully I can get this under 20 minutes like my previous one. So either way, thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, you know the deal. And this is Jonathan 800 signing out.